Ching, ching, ching! Let me hear them dollar ring. Hello and namaste, and welcome to MOM Square, Money on My Mind. I'm Vivek Shetty, an engineer by profession and an investor by addiction. If you and I share the same addiction, we are on the right page. Yes, guys, we are on the right YouTube page. And while you're there, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon. Guys, earlier this morning, we had a tweet from Bill Ackman talking about, or basically, wishing everybody happy Father's Day. And it said, at the end of the tweet, it said 2 p.m. Okay, happy Father's Day, which was obvious to me. By the way, everybody watching, happy Father's Day. And if you're not a father yet, if you don't have kids yet, pick up the phone, call your dad, and wish him happy Father's Day as well. Okay, so he tweets that in the morning. And then at 2 p.m., he sends out another tweet with a link to the whole transaction overview about PSTH. So this makes it official. So the official announcement of the deal happening or the deal being pursued, keeping it technical, happened today. Okay, so this presentation does that. This presentation also provides much needed clarity about the deal for a lot of people. A lot of guys like me and many other YouTubers have made video content talking about the deal and clarifying a lot of the aspects of the deal for us. Okay. However, there were a few details here and there that weren't that clear, especially with timeline, pertaining timeline. So, if you guys have not watched my previous video, go check it out. There's an elaborate explanation about the merger and the components of the merger. Okay. I'll still try to hit some of that on this video, but if you haven't checked that video, I'll put a link in the description. Go check it out. In addition to that, I'm also going to put a link to this transaction overview presentation in the description section. So go take a look at it as well. It's a 30-page document, so you don't have to read the whole document. If you're watching this video, this will give you a good summary of it, okay? So a quick recap from the last week or 2 weeks ago. We know that PSTH is a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company, that went the unconventional route of getting into a merger with somebody. They're actually buying shares into a company. Okay, so Vivendi currently owns 60% of Universal Music Group, and PSTH is going to be buying the 10% of that from Vivendi. Okay, now neither is UMG or not Vivendi. Vivendi is traded publicly, but UMG is not a public company yet. They will be going public on September 27th. So that is one new piece of information. Okay, we didn't have a firm date. September 27th is when that company is going public. Okay, UMG is going public. So in addition to that, we knew that basically, we know that they're buying it, but they were buying that 10% of UMG from Vivendi for $4.1 billion and got at basically a valuation of $40 billion. Okay, so in other words, if you owned a PSTH SPAC, let's say at IPO price of $20, they took $14.50, okay, to get basically, I believe, 10% of UMG from Vivendi. Okay. So $14.50 went into buying UMG. The remainder $5.50 is still going to remain with us, and it's going to be called the PSTH RemainCo. Okay. So 2 pieces of information new so far from my prior video: the date confirming the 27th of September being the date for the UMG going public, and the second piece of information is with regards to the cost, the $14.50. I think in my previous video I said $14.75. But anyways, so that's the quick snapshot of the deal. Now, what does this mean for us that we currently hold PSTH stock? There's a good slide that gives a breakdown of what it would be like if you own 100 shares of PSTH, what it means. Okay, so slide 9 on the presentation is what I'm referring to. So if you currently own 100 shares of PSTH, you will be getting 64 shares of UMG. Right there, that piece of information is going to scare a lot of people, okay? But please understand, it's not it's not by any means decreasing the value of your current shares. Okay, why the ratio there of 1:0.64, to be precise, is 0.643? That's because when UMG wants to go public, they are going to have XYZ, like 180, what was it, 180 million? Yeah, 180 million some shares is what they want to, give out in the market, okay, like go public, right? So that's not the total amount, by the way. I'm talking about the 10% of the total 60% that. So Vivendi is going to take UMG public by rolling out shares, right, on the 27th of September. So PSTH is taking 180 million of those shares. Just giving an example, by giving away 200 and what was it, to be precise, 220 some million of PSTH common stocks. So long story short, you're getting less UMG shares by giving more PSTH shares, not by value. Okay, the value still stays there. Another simplified example. So we paid $14.50 to get one UMG share. Okay, correct? Like to get UMG, 10% of UMG. However, that value of UMG is not, one share of UMG is not $14.50 because of this conversion ratio. So you paid $14.50 to get 0.643 of UMG shares. In other words, I'm guessing that UMG is going to be at an IPO price of around $23. Okay, so you basically had divided by 0.64. I know it's confusing, but please be assured that the value is not being reduced because of the exchange rate. It's purely to balance out the number of outstanding shares. Okay, many companies, they don't want to roll out too many outstanding shares, so they come up with this way to do it. So in the end, your value is still there. Your $14.50 value is still there. Okay, so yeah, let's get into what all do you get, right? So you get 64 shares of UMG. Then you will continue to have your 100 shares of PSTH will be turning into 100 shares of PSTH RemainCo, which is that $5.50 per share, which is going to be a pool of $1.5 billion, that they'll be using to pursue a new business. Okay, and which in this presentation material they say that they will be going after the new company right away. Basically, they're going to start looking into merger opportunities as soon as now, right? And I'm not saying the deal will be done now. I'm sure it's going to take some time, but the presentation does talk about them working on the deal, okay, or working on pursuing that deal. Okay, so you got 64 shares of UMG, you get 100 shares of RemainCo, you get if you haven't sold your warrants from the IPO date, you will continue to hold the 11 warrants that you would have gotten for 100 shares. And you will get the 2/9 of the warrant as well. So basically another 22 warrants. Okay, but that's going to be for PSTH RemainCo, not for PSTH. Okay, and you get transferable SPARC warrant. SPARC warrant stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Right Company. Okay, so you're not paying anything for the SPARC in this case. You get it, okay, as a part of this deal. That gives you, so let's say a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, if the PSTH team goes and pursues an acquisition with somebody, with their own money, they'll be doing that. And at that point, you'll get the right to convert your warrant into a stock of that particular company that they're buying, okay? So it's like you're a pipe investor, in other words, it's good. And in addition to that, he's also in his tweet said, moving forward, every SPARC you will be getting access to. Okay, so this is good. The SPARC component is really good. So hopefully that clarifies the breakdown of what you will be getting for the 100 shares you own. Now you can obviously do the math and figure out if you have 3,000 shares, which in my case I do. I think I have around 32 or 34, no, 3,500 shares right now for PSTH. Bought some on my birthday. But anyways, so that's the breakdown of it. Now let's go into the timeline, which if you look in the slide number 13, there is a good pictorial view of the timeline. So June 22nd is when the shareholders meeting is happening with Vivendi. Okay. June 23rd is when PSTH is going to have a meeting. In fact, right on their website, the link I'm sending to you, you guys can register yourself to be part of that video where they're going to explain this deal in further detail. Okay. So the DA, the definitive agreement, should be rolled out by the 22nd or 23rd. I am very certain this deal is happening in my perspective. I know were some objections by the Vivendi current shareholders, but I still think the deal is happening. The actual UMG going public in the Amsterdam market is going to happen on the 27th of September. Okay, like I think I mentioned earlier in the video. So 27th of September is when that will happen. Now, coming on the PSTH side, okay, so they did the official announcement today, so June 20th. Later or early part of July is when they're going to allow for share redemption tender offer. Share redemption tender offer is an opportunity for you to back off. Let's say I have a PSTH share. I'm not excited about this deal, which is not true. I can basically redeem my shares for $20, basically saying, nope, I don't want to do anything with this. I would redeem it for $20. I didn't like this deal that you went in and got, okay? Which I don't think many people are going to pursue that because, I mean, the stock's trading at $22.50, $22.70. Why would anybody get less and walk out of it? So if they want to, they would sell it. But anyways, so that is going to open on the first to second week of July and most likely end in August, okay? Early August to end of August. Then also they'll be allowing for warrant exchange offer. So for everybody who got the 1/9 of the warrant, or you went and bought the warrant in the open market, you will have an opportunity to convert into a regular PSTH common stock beginning the first week of July as well. And that closes by end of August as well, okay? So do not forget about that because I'm sure there'll be a bunch of news and I'll post a video about it too, but make sure you mark your calendars for first week of July or second week of July to convert it into, if you want to convert it into a stock, how to do it, I'll make a video about that, but make sure you do not forget that date, okay? In addition, the distribution of Tontine warrants, so this is your PSTH, RemainCo warrants, is going to happen end of August. So after the closing of the warrant exchange offer and the share redemption tender offer, you will be issued more warrants, the 2/9 of the warrants, so 2 warrants for every 9 stocks, okay? Now, you got to remember, those warrants, I don't believe, can be converted into PSTH stock. That's for your PSTH RemainCo, okay? So the 1.5 billion pool. So it's going to be valued at somewhere around $1.50 to $2, I bet, okay? And the distribution of SPARC warrants, the third component of the deal, right? That's going to happen in early September. So we'll be getting our SPARC warrants, which you can sell if you want to, or rather hold. I would rather just hold and see what deal he's getting, right? There's a lot to be said about that, in my opinion. You can always buy more SPARCs too. The closing of the UMG shares purchase transaction between PSTH and Vivendi is going to happen late August to early September, okay? And the distribution of the UMG shares itself to the PSTH holders is going to happen at the end of November or early December, okay? So that's the full timeline. A lot of this wasn't clear in the previous, announcements and public information out there. So I'm glad that this rolled out. And we'll see a lot of Bill coming out and talking about this deal and showing the value proposition, I believe, next week, right after the DA. And rightfully so. I know a lot of people on Twitter and places are asking about why is he not coming and publicizing this or talking about this deal? It's not a good idea because Vivendi shareholders still need to vote on the deal, right? If you promote it or if you highlight the benefits that he's brought in for the PSTH holders, there are chances that they're going to vote, a nay for it. So I think it's a smart move that he's not going on news channels and talking about it and whatnot, okay? So be patient. I think he will start doing that early next week or maybe end of next week. Hopefully, guys, this was helpful. It gives you a picture of the new updates. The UMG going public is 27th of September. We paid $14.50 to get UMG. If you have 100 shares of PSTH, you'll be getting 64 shares of UMG. Those kind of information is all new if compared to my prior video. So hopefully that video was beneficial. If you did like the video, do not forget to hit subscribe button, because it keeps me pushing to make more content and help us as a team, as a fam. Okay, subscribe and see you soon. Adios.